Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome to Back to Basics with me, Cynthia Williams. I am here with Andrea Fogarty today. We are going to talk all things hormones. This is a great channel, or what I plan to use this channel for is getting back to basics, learning our bodies, getting back to basics, learning how our body's speaking to us, the signs, the symptoms, what it means, and then how we address it. And we're going to talk a lot about that with Andrea. She is a great example of doing a deeper dive into your labs, things that are not done at your doctor's normally, and what we find from it, and then fixing those things and changes in lifestyle, nutrition, etc., to fix those things. Andrea is a 48-year-old Louisvillian. She's a controller for a small company here in Louisville. She's got 3 teenagers. She is an outdoorsy girl. She loves to live life. They love to travel, her husband, and her kids. They love to get out there and just make the most of life. So with that said, Andrea, is there anything that you want to add to that?
I don't think so.
Okay. Andrea and I have been together on and off for the last 4 years, though what we're working on now is completely different than 4 years ago. And we're going to focus on the now because I think the now is more relatable to a lot of women that are out there, especially like what she's been through and everything. So I'll kind of give you a little bit of the cliff notes of it, and then we'll start talking about it and everything that went on. So Andrea and I started working together in January of 2022, and she came to me with a couple of symptoms and things that she was having. She knew her nutrition wasn't where it was, but Andrea has always been an avid workout lady, individual, whatever. She's always lifted weights. So exercise and working hard in exercise has never been an issue for her, but the nutrition kind of fell to the wayside. She was putting on weight that she didn't understand why. She was feeling a certain way, having some symptoms and things like that she knew just wasn't right and that she wanted to feel better. So brought her on. We got a full comprehensive lab panel done. And again, I am not a doctor. I cannot clinically diagnose, but I pulled up her labs because I did a full thyroid panel, which is just a little side note here. You need to get full thyroid panels done. And this is a prime example of why. Okay. Andrea was diagnosed with hypothyroidism or low thyroid after her twins were born. And that's been 13 years ago, you said?
Yeah.
13 years ago. Okay. So her doctor knows that she's low thyroid and she's been on medication since. And they never did a full thyroid panel and checked her antibodies levels. Okay. Because where she was in January could have been avoided had they been doing a full thyroid panel on her. But we checked her antibodies and discovered that it sure looked like Hashimotos. She has to take that to her doctor to confirm the diagnosis. The other thing that we found, the other big one that we found, was she was very estrogen dominant. A lot of estrogen running through her system, which contributes to a lot of the symptoms and things that she was having. And then the third big one was her digestion. Her digestion was off. She was not having bowel movements regularly. And the issue with that when it comes to estrogen and hormones is we get rid of estrogen through bowel movements daily. And if you're not having one daily, that excess estrogen gets recirculated back into your system and just basically wreaks havoc on your system. It causes all kinds of issues. So we had to get those 3 things straightened out first. And once we got those 3 things straightened out first, everything else will start to fall in place because your hormones they travel in packs or messengers. And when you get one off, they all go off. So we can get like the major ones back in line. All the other hormones will start to fall back in line. And again, this is not knocking doctors. This is not what it is. But I just think my mission with this channel and with the work I'm doing is helping women become advocates and educated on their bodies so that they don't get dismissed at the doctors and that they take control of their issues that they're having, the symptoms, whatever it may be. Because I can remember this again so clearly too with Andrea is she went to, I can't remember, was it your gyno or your GP that you went to, and they just told you, well, you just don't poop every day. It's okay. It's okay not to poop every day. And I was just like, that's total bullshit. No, it's not. Especially when you're looking at her full labs and she's estrogen dominant. She has to go every day if she wants to feel better and she wants to get her system right. She has to go every day. It's just like, what a crock of shit. literally. But anyways, so I know I've talked a lot and I want to get you to talk. I don't want to be the one talking the whole time, but I just kind of wanted to lay the foundation so that people have an understanding of where you were and that things that weren't thoroughly checked. Again, I'm not knocking doctors, but I feel like this was a miss on that end, especially when you've been on medication for 13 years. There should have been some follow-up and checking that antibody along the way. Now, the estrogen stuff, unless you went in with those symptoms, I don't know that could go either way. But again, this again is why you have to take health into your hands. So what do you want to throw at there to contribute to that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like I said, my nutrition, I'd kind of fallen off the wagon last holiday season. You were starting up this hormone and health program. I thought, I've been on thyroid medicine for 13 years. Like, let's go in, let's do it. Let's get a full detailed lab workup. And I remember you and I met and you were like, oh, Andrea, oh boy. You're like, you have got a lot of work to do. And I was just like, oh my God, like, what does she mean? What is she talking about? So it was really eye-opening for me for you to go over those labs with me. So then next time when I look at them, I can look at them and know, have I made improvement or have I not made improvement? And yeah, I mean, in the protocol, I mean, guys, the thing you got to know about me is my husband and I, like, our big thing is we're beer drinkers. We go to breweries. We love going to breweries, checking out different beers. Anytime we travel anywhere, it's something that we do. And, Cynthia was like, guess what? You can't do that anymore because you've got Hashimotos and, and all about gluten and what it can do to your thyroid. So that was, man, I mean, I felt like I got punched in the gut. And yeah, and my digestion, like I've always been, I'd always been like a every 2 to 3 day pooper. Like that's just, it's always been normal for me. And you're like, no. So, Cynthia's protocol was, okay, we got to heal your gut. And so the first thing you have to do is stop exercising, basically stop lifting weights. And I was just like, oh my God, how can you do this to me? So I just, I could walk and ride my bike, and I probably did that for about 4 weeks. And it took some time. It probably took about 3 months before my actual digestion, I think, finally got to where it needed to be, to where I was actually pooping every single day. And it's been pretty right on since then. So it's kind of crazy, like how good do you feel after you do it? This bodily function that, everyone does, do it every day and you feel so much better.
Yeah, right. Well, and let me clarify on a couple of these things, because I don't want people to be scared, like, oh my God, you're going to make my life a living hell. But the reason we took away exercise initially is because we needed her gut to heal, and I needed all resources to go to her gut. And though exercise is good for us, it's very draining of resources in your body, pulling out the nutrition and things like that to heal the muscles that you're breaking down. So I had to get her in a rest and digest state, literally. And that's what we did by pulling any strenuous exercise. She could walk and she could leisurely bike ride because we still wanted the activity in. But anything that caused a stress on her system, which exercise is a stress, I had to eliminate for a while to allow her system to heal, to get the inflammation down, to put her, literally, it's called the rest and digest state, and get her in that spot. And then when it comes to breweries, I didn't say she can't go to breweries anymore. I just said she can't drink gluten or eat gluten anymore. If you're unfamiliar with gluten and thyroid, so gluten, just to make it so simple, I don't want to go into it, but gluten stimulates an antibody release in the body, and it causes it to attack the thyroid even more. So if she's already got a low thyroid, and now we know we have Hashimotos, which is a lot of antibodies, basically eating away the thyroid tissue, that butterfly organ in our neck. So we don't need anything else in her system that is going to stimulate or exacerbate that taking away of the tissue that she has. What we're trying to do is heal her thyroid and do that so that her metabolism isn't wrecked the rest of her life. Because your thyroid controls respiration, digestion, cardiac rates, your metabolism, your body temperature. It controls so many things. So not having a thyroid is not a good thing. So, there's gluten-free beer options that you can have. I know they're not as great or whatever, but, and just changes. But also we got Andrea in a spot where if she had one beer every once in a while now, it's not going to affect her like it would have in January. Like if she was keeping having them in January, it was just eating away at her and just creating so much inflammation in her system. That, and the symptoms, like what were, say in January, what were like your 5 biggest symptoms that you were having that you knew that something just was not right?
Fatigue, bloating, irritability.
Yep.
Gosh, what else? I mean, definitely some inflammation. Like after I would eat a meal, my stomach would just be like, brrr, like I felt like I was pregnant or something. It was kind of horrible.
Yeah.
And then, I am 48, so my periods are, not very regular these days. So I had that to deal with too.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you had a lot. Yeah. And perimenopausal on top of it. So, that's a perfect storm of just hell, basically. But
Yeah.
so we did the protocol initially. We removed exercise. After we got digestion straight, we brought exercise back in. You're back at it, killing it in the gym, right? Exercising, doing all that kind of stuff. The hardest part was probably your nutrition, I would honestly have to say. She had to go through a pretty rigorous protocol initially. And again, the reason for it was healing. We had to heal her system. And so we pulled gluten, dairy, anything and everything that was hard to digest, anything that could cause inflammation. I had to pull the calories back as well. Yes, she wanted to lose weight, but it was also more, if we're not pooping every day, the last thing I'm going to do is shove more food down your throat. You're not digesting and processing the current amount of food that we're eating. So why are we going to put more food in there? So we had to pull back on it to give the gut a break. We wanted to lose weight, but that wasn't the main drive behind it. It was to give the gut a break and let it catch up on the digestion so that you could start going every day and doing that. And so that probably maybe 6 months or so, I would say we spent there working on it.
Yeah, it was at least 3 months. I remember because then I went on spring break with my family.
Right.
And whenever I travel, I have a very sensitive gut digestion. And it's like, okay, nope, you're not in a familiar place.
Right.
We're not going to the bathroom. So I was really worried about that. But then it was like right after I came back from spring break, then bam, I don't know what happened. Maybe my body was like, oh, you're in your bathroom again. And I just started going every day. I just became regular. So then I think it was a mental win for me because then when we went on vacation over the summer, I wasn't so worried about it and get stressed out about it because I think that has something to do with it too, where you are, in your mental state. Like, oh, I know I'm just not going to be able to go. So, yeah.
Right. But you were, and you went every day on vacation?
I pretty much, yeah. I mean, and then we went camping this fall and I even went when we were camping. So yeah, that was just like, woo.
Right. And that's, and I mean, people are like, so like, oh God, you're talking about poop. But I mean, I try to like get it back to basics. Right. And I'm thinking about it now because my kid's sick. You look at your kid, like when you have your kids, right? Poop is how we determine the health of our child, right? We're so worried to making sure that our infants are pooping every day and that our babies are pooping every day and our toddlers are pooping every day. And over time, we just stop like thinking about it or worrying about it. But that is like, you can tell so much about your health from your digestion, right? Trackers and hunters and stuff, they go and they look at the poop of animals to tell how healthy animals are and where they are. I mean, it tells you so many things. So I don't know when it becomes taboo to talk about it. I talk about it all the time. And the quality of it as well. I mean, it's not just pooping every day. There's an actual chart called the Bristol stool chart, if you guys are unfamiliar with it, that tells you like it's 1 through 7 and you want to be a 3 or a 4. That's healthy, normal stools every day. And that's where we want to be, that everything is working right. Because when your gut is on, your hormones are going to balance, your energy levels are going to go up, fatigue is going to go away, brain fog's going to go away. You're going to see better results in the gym when you're working out, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing for me through this was really learning to pay attention to my body after eating things because I really just kind of blew that off before. I mean, I'd say since working with you, I've become more aware of nutrition and eating and protein and trying to be good about it. Yeah, last holiday I did fall off the wagon, but if I do eat something that I don't normally eat, I think about, how it is making me feel. So that's one big thing I really, really learned here is that being aware of my body and what I put in there and how it makes me feel afterwards.
Good. I mean, and that's the whole goal right there is, learning your body. Okay, so what would you
Absolutely.
say? So we've done all this work and where you are now. How would you say your relationship with food is? How would you say you are with working towards your composition goals? Because I wouldn't say you're completely healed, but your antibody numbers are way down. Her Hashimotos are way back down. Her estrogen's in an excellent spot. Like she is in a really, really good spot on your lab. So all of that, we'll just say, has been taken care of. So mentally and aesthetically and all that kind of stuff, after doing that work, where are you now?
Oh, I mean, it's such a much better place. Like I said, just learning so much, you know, about nutrition and how, I know what's good for me. I know what's not good for me. Um, I'm more cognizant about it. Another big win for me is my oldest daughter, who's 16 years old, who looks at me and what I'm doing, and I see her try to mimic the things that I do, in this world where all of her friends are, starving themselves or looking at TikTok and Instagram and all that. And she's just like, no, no, you got to eat. I mean, she understands it and she goes to the gym with me and lifts heavy weights with me. And, I think that is just such a cool thing,
Yeah.
such a cool thing to witness. So I hope she keeps it up and I would love it if my 13-year-old daughter would do the same. So we'll see.
Yeah. No, I think that's what it's all about, right? Is being a role model and teaching. Like I hope the same things for Finley that you have with Olivia, that you guys you hit the gym together and that she's looking up to you and what you're doing and you're teaching her the right ways, right? Instead of this crash fad dieting that's just terrible and it's just so hard on our systems and all that. Okay, where would you say though? How is your food relationship? Would you say it's pretty good? You feel like you have great balance? Where is that?
I do feel like I have great balance. And yeah, on Christmas Day, I ate some things I shouldn't have eaten, but I was like, it's okay. It's not like completely ruined my life. I'm not going to feel guilty about it. It is what it is. And I'm going to wake up the next day and I'm going to get back on track and I'm going to have my oatmeal with chia seeds and fruit and, because I like it. It tastes good to me. I like it. A good lunch, good healthy lunch. So yeah, just no more guilt about it. You always talk about your kind of 90-10 rule, and I think it's such a good rule. Like, you can have those things, the cookie or the potato chips or whatever it is, just balance it out. You can't have it at every meal every single day.
Right.
If you have it with the one meal and you're going out with your friends or whatever, and you have that glass of wine or whatever it may be, you can have it. You don't have to just like cut everything that you love out.
Right. Well said. Well said. I don't have to say anything. Okay. Well, do you have anything else that you would like to add today or any other? Let's do this. What if for somebody that is wanting to do something, wanting to make a change, maybe where you were in your shoes in January, what is like the one nugget you would give them or piece of advice or something like that with somebody in that position?
I would say, you just really have to look deep within yourself and say, why did you sign up for this in the first place? Um, you know, you have to be ready to make that change and put in the work. As long as I think you have that mindset, then it's really not that hard. It's really not that hard to do. So don't be scared. Um, Also, in being your own health advocate, like you said, learning to look at those labs and know, I didn't have to wait the second and third time to look at them and know. I didn't have to wait to have my meeting with you. I could look at them myself and know, okay, I'm putting all this work in and I'm seeing the results because here the labs are saying so.
Yeah, it's in black and white at that point, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Andrea, for your time. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope it was insightful, beneficial. If you're where Andrea was and in those shoes, knowing you're not alone, everybody is, or not everybody, but there's lots of women going through it, and you can feel better. You can, at the age of 48, look fantastic, feel fantastic, have great energy. You can have all that kind of stuff. Don't let people tell you, oh, it's part of aging and you just have to look this way at this age. You do not whatsoever. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you give me comments, any information that you would like to see or anything you'd like to talk about in the future. I'm happy to try and abide by it. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Oh, she hung up. Shit.